All right, what's on my heart today? Well, I had a fantastic comment on the Triggercam 2.1 video, and it had to deal with the focus wheel um, and how it focuses the reticle, and then your parallax adjustment will focus the picture. Now, I was hunting bear, and I assumed that my blurry bear footage was due to the fact that I hadn't adjusted the wheel on the Triggercam 2.1. And I had been using a scope prior to that didn't have parallax adjustment, and once I had it dialed in, it stayed dialed in focus-wise, and so I was kind of assuming that related to distance, and what it amounts to is at 100 yards with no parallax adjustment, you're dialed in, you're focused. So what I want to do is kind of dive into that deeper and take the Triggercam 2.1, put it on the scope with the parallax adjustment, and go through the steps and see what we come up with. And then put it on one without the parallax adjustment and see what we come up with. At a distance of 100 yards, and then we'll move back to 300 yards, see what the difference is, and see if we don't need to touch the adjustment wheel on the 2.1, which is probably the case, and see what kind of clarity we can get at those distances. And this will help you and me figure out how to get the best picture. And hey, it's a learning experience, and appreciate the comments. So let's see what we can come up with. So I've got an old mule deer mount that I've hung on the tree, and that's going to represent what we want to see, and we'll be able to focus in on that. So that we'll look at 100 yards and then back off to 300 yards. And mess with the parallax, and you can see at 100 yards, that's where it's going to be. Now if we move the adjustment wheel, does that come into any better focus? Yes, it does. Okay, here we are. You can see we're at 100 yards parallax. We're sitting at 300 yards. You can see we're a bit blurry, so I'm going to adjust parallax to 300. You can see not too bad. But let's see if we can't get it sharper. So you can see it's possible to get that image quality a little sharper just by using your focus wheel after you've adjusted the parallax, and just fine-tune it to the yardage you're going to be shooting at. Okay, this is on the non-parallax adjustment gun scope. You can see the reticle's good, but I think we need to adjust the focus wheel. So you can see it's possible to get a more crisp, clear image quality just by adjusting the focus wheel on the Triggercam and fine-tuning what's already pretty good picture quality. Okay, you can see we're going to get on this deer at 300 yards. So at 300 yards, you can see image quality is a little bit fuzzy, and this is due to lack of parallax adjustment on this scope. Now you can adjust the wheel on the Triggercam and get a little bit better video image quality, but as you're adjusting for that image quality, you might lose reticle quality, the sharpness of the reticle. But I find that I would rather have the image quality be as best as it can be, because as you're looking through the scope, you're not going to notice the reticle quality. And you can see here we can dial it in just a little bit better. We can get some more detail on that deer. All right, that was fun. So what did we learn? I think takeaway is that focus wheel will definitely get that reticle nice and crisp and clear, and then kind of translates into the footage behind it. So you can be pretty confident without a parallax adjust out to 100 yards, get that reticle clear. Check your video though, and make sure at 100 yards or 50 yards or wherever you think you're going to be shooting that is going to be clear also, and you can use that wheel to adjust. I mean, if your reticle ends up being blurry and you get a more clear picture, I think that's probably better. Did notice some instances where out to 300 yards that would work, where you could get a little bit better image quality if your reticle is a little bit blurry. But all in all, it looks like, yes, as you turn that wheel and get the reticle nice and crisp and clear, it's going to stick with that image, that video. And then parallax will just help you to dial it in. Well, I appreciate the comments. That was fun to do, and to dive deeper into the focus wheel on the Triggercam 2.1. So, until next time, heart the hunt.